but I'll tell you
Oh, what
again.
was your
Don't worry.
definition of a contradiction?
Yeah, the two propositions cannot be true at the same time. So in syllogism or in symbolic form, it's just going to be P, not P. But
Okay,
give
and do
me
you think
one
that P,
second so I could look it up.
and do you think that P, independent of like the operators, do you think that P is representative of a proposition?
So just typically P, when it refers to in a symbolic form, it's just stating a proposition.
This dude's funny as fuck, so Lucario, let's be very clear, okay? Let's be very clear. So when it comes to P not P, in the context of ascribing a contradiction, P does not mean proposition in logic. It could be X not X. It could be F not F. It could be A not A.
Those are all variables for proposition. Those are all variables for proposition.
So one, within logic, when we're just explaining a principle of a contradiction, and I say P not P, we're just applying a principle, not a proposition. So the P does not mean proposition, you dumbass trying to say that I'm just trying to confuse people by using formal logic.
Be true. And then the negation of not P, the proposition actually being false. Two
Okay,
things
and then
cannot
do you
be true at
remember,
once.
okay, so do you think that it's possible to have a contradiction without invoking any propositions?
Wait, so you're saying what you were saying was not true?
No, I'm asking you a question here.
I would say there would need to be a proposition that's stated as true.
I couldn't hear the question. I'm asking.
Oh, the question. Here, I'll repeat the question for you. Maybe you should write it down this time. Do you think it's possible to have a contradiction without invoking any propositions at all?
So can you have a contradiction without proposing a
Not proposing. No, not
So,
proposing.
context-
Invoking. Is it possible to have a contradiction
Yes,
without any
without
propositions?
propositions.
Any propositions at all?
Yes, you can definitely do this, yes.
But you understand that a contradiction is literally a proposition in conjunction with the negation of the
No,
proposition.
that's not always the case. That's not always the
Well,
case.
your
Not in
definition.
logic.
No.
I wanna
Your
keep the
definition is just
modal-
P and not P. But what do you think those
You
variables
asked me a
represent?
question, so
What do you think
once
those
again, if you
variables
ask me a
represent,
question,
Scooter?
and I
And then the negation
Okay,
of a
good. And so
proposition
when you ask the
would be the
question,
contradiction.
yeah. And so when you ask the question, when did I get shit on in the past month? All I have to do is point to your YouTube video that was posted a month ago where you directly say, and when I asked you, is it possible to have a contradiction without propositions? You say yes. And I ask you, okay, what are P and not P?
No, we
in the
were talking
proposition?
about
Now you're
theoretically
interrupting.
speaking.
Now you're interrupting because you know you're getting scared right now. I know you're getting
No,
nervous right
that's
now.
not
So just
true.
no, just calm down. I know you're getting scared right now.
No,
So
you're taking it out
earlier
of context.
in the video which was posted 1 month ago, do you remember when you answered no, P and not P are not representative of propositions?
No,
the P does not mean proposition, you dumbass trying to say that.
so the question originally stated, and this was piggybacking off another topic, so this is a situation to where you once again hopped in the middle of a debate on an ongoing conflict that was taking between me and Flurple. Then at the same time, you kind of changed the conversation, and then I wasn't able to
Okay, so
speak.
give me
So
the
I'm going,
context of the
I'm going
conversation
to,
where you can
I'm going,
change symbolic logic.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so what happened was me and Flurple was debating, and I think this was the same conversation of whether or not it's possible to have a soul, okay, without a mind, or a body without a mind was the argument. And he said it's theoretically possible. And within that, we agreed that things can be theoretically possible. Now, when we're talking about theoretically or about modal, then sure, could it happen? Maybe, yes. But that doesn't mean that necessitates on a theoretical level. Now, if we're just talking about the propositions to be true and then the negation of the proposition to be true, that's fundamentally different than saying, is it possible that this isn't a contradiction theoretically? Like, I didn't make the claim it was impossible, so therefore it defaults to some degree of possibility. Now, that doesn't negate that I can't put into the principle, at least on a logical level, without a theoretical probability, and then say that proposition P cannot be true while the same proposition is not true at the same time. Now, theoretically speaking about
You said P
probabilities,
cannot be
it's
true while
different
P
from the
cannot be true at the
logical
same time. That's
level.
not a contradiction.
And there's two modal
That's just a
differences
tautology.
between the
You
two.
got lost. You tried to ramble. You tried to use as many big words as you can
Oh,
to avoid
I
the
didn't
question, and you
ramble.
ended up not even addressing a proposition.
No, I
You
already
ended up
answered
not
you
even
what a
addressing a contradiction
contradiction,
as well.
and this is what
You
happens
just
with
made a
Lucario.
tautology.
So, Lucario, typically when you ask me for a definition of a contradiction and then I give it to you, you bring up a conversation from a month ago and then just meta debate and then take it out of context. So, how about
Because
we
I came
stick with
back to you.
one?
I came back to you
Excuse me,
again after I came back to you a
Excuse
couple
me.
days after that, and it's
Excuse me.
also on
Okay,
recording.
excuse me.
It's also on the
So,
YouTube. Okay, what's the modality that you're using when you say that it's possible to have a contradiction without like propositions? What modality are you using?
yeah,
'Cause
sure.
logic isn't going to help you.
Wait, what? Okay. No, so
said
I'm just
logic's not
saying,
gonna
like,
help
in absent of a true statement that can't be verified, physically speaking, it can be a contradiction without, I would say, a proposition. So I
Well, you
defined for
affirmed
you
it.
properly what a contradiction was. So are you gonna, meta debate a conversation ago? Because I do, if you want to go back to clips, I also have clips and also screenshots to where you cannot even form a valid syllogism, at all. You didn't
No,
know
please send me
how.
those. No,
And the
please send me those. I
syllogism
would love to
I
see those.
have
And I know you.
in
And I know you're
Discord. I
just gonna
sent
say,
it to
"Oh,
you
I
and you
got you,
got mad.
Lucario. I'll send them to you
So,
on Discord,"
Lucario,
and
if
then
you
never
want a
respond
meta
to me
debate,
again.
I
I
have
know that's
shown
what you're
you
gonna
in
do. So just
I
go
have
ahead and get
shown
it
you
out.
in
Say that
every
you're going to
single
send
way
them to me, and then
possible.
never
And then what
respond to
it
me
leads
again.
to is
But
just
I just wanted
Lucario
while you're
acting
here,
like a
while you're here,
child.
because no, it's because while you're here, because it's rare that I get to get you in a
So
box and
once
you're actually
again,
engaging.
I
I
defined for
want you
you
to
what
acknowledge that
if
in
you
this
can't shut
video,
up.
I asked you very directly,
This
and
is
I didn't
why.
ask about context, and I didn't ask whether the context of the conversations were going to change symbolic logic. I strictly asked you, do you think it's possible to have a contradiction without invoking any
Yes.
propositions? And you
Yes.
said yes. And you
Yes.
also, yes, the answer is yes.
Theoretically, yes, but that
What do you
doesn't
think
mean
theoretical, and
so.
what do you think
When
theoretical
we
means
stick
here?
to the confinements of theoretical compared to non-theoretical, what we're just saying is I want to deem it to be impossible. I don't know. So therefore, because I want to deem it to be impossible, there could be some degree of probability that that can be true. Now, that's not making a definitive claim within the instance of it is true. I never made that definitive claim. Now
You
I'm just
did
saying
make
it's
the
not
definitive claim,
impossible
and
to theorize.
you did make the
Excuse me,
definitive
I'm
claim,
trying
and
to
you
clarify,
also
and this
made
is
the
what you
claim
do
that
and
P and not
interrupt.
P are not
And
representative of
this is why you
propositions,
take
and
me
that's
out
the
of
position that
context
I
so
held.
much
Do you remember
rather
this,
than
Scooter?
actually engage with what
Scooter,
I'm
do you remember
saying.
this?
So I'm gonna finish what I was saying, and then you can
No,
respond,
you're
and then
just
I'll
gonna
let you
no, you're just
talk.
gonna ramble, and
I'm
then
not
eventually, because
rambling. I'm
last time
explaining
I
it
let
to
you rock
you,
out, I
and
let
you're
you
just
rock out like
interrupting
4 minutes
because
ago
this is
to
what you
answer the
do.
question, and
This
you
is
just
not
ended
how
up
you
saying,
debate.
"Well,
No
I'm just gonna talk about
no
not P
person in
and also the
philosophy
negation
debates
of
like
P,"
this.
which is
So I'm
literally the
gonna
same
go ahead
thing.
and
You
finish what
just
I'm
said A and
saying
A
because you're
again.
just
You're
interrupting
trying to
like you
ramble.
always
You're
do,
trying to use
and
all
then
the
you'll
big
take
words you
me out of
can,
context.
hoping that you can talk
So
long
once
enough, and
again,
maybe I'll get
I
bored.
just wasn't making a claim that it was impossible. So
Scooter,
theoretically
Scooter.
speaking,
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I have all the time in the world. I'm not gonna get bored, okay?
it's
I'm gonna
proposing
let you
that it
talk
can
as
be
much as you can.
possible.
Get it all out.
Now,
Use all
I'm
the
okay
biggest
for the
words you can think of to try
conversation
to
of
dodge me.
sticking
You can
into
think
the
of all the
logical
biggest words to try
argument,
to run from
and
me
then
and run
from the
from my
logical
omnipotent
argument,
debate
we could just
abilities. But
correlate
I'm gonna
what
tell you,
a
it's gonna
contradiction
catch up to you.
is. So when it comes to the contradiction, and we're talking about a logical level, and I know you have to interrupt, you do it every time, because you can actually never debate me on substance. So I'm going to clarify for you, because I don't care if you have a video. I have many clips to where you can't even form a fucking syllogism, and you're not that smart. So I'm going to be clear with you, so we can correlate and get back on topic without meta debating or over talking. So in 15 seconds, I'll wrap it up. You asked me, can it be possible? I'm talking about a theoretical possibility. So I wouldn't make a claim that it's impossible. So therefore, by default, that means it's some degree of a probability. Now, I didn't make a definitive claim. Now, when you ask me within this conversation to prove where your contradiction was from a week ago, I don't record every live I'm in. And I'm going to pull it up for you, and then I'll send it to you, and then I'll go live tonight, and we can talk about it because I have to get to work. But the second point is a contradiction is a proposition and then the negation of the proposition, and then both cannot be true at the same time. Now, when you take me out of context like you always do, we're not going to get anywhere.
Take you out of context. So give me the
Yeah.
context, give me the conditionals, and where
The
P and not
context of
P.
the video
Wait,
was
no,
you were
you
asking,
interrupted me. You interrupted me.
you
I
asked
thought
me a
interruptions were
question.
bad. I thought
You asked me a
interruptions were bad.
question.
I thought interruptions were bad.
Okay,
I
don't
didn't know
ask a question
interruptions
if
were
you don't want
suddenly
it
okay.
answered.
This is what you do every time. Okay, yeah, so give me I want you to give me the context and where P and not P in symbolic logic are actually not representative of propositions. What kind of debate rhetorical context is going to change symbolic logic? Go ahead, Scooter.
Okay, yeah. So one, what is the debate even about? I see your comment. Yeah, this is what Lucario does. He never actually debates substance, but no. So you didn't even propose any counter to what I said. So I just talked about theoretical possibilities, non-theoretical possibilities. But typically in conversations, I made it very clear I'm looking for a logical argument. So we're not going to be talking about theoretical. So your question proposed,
Okay, I see.
your
I see.
question
So when I
proposed from
asked
a
you
month
very
ago was,
directly in
well,
this
now you
specific
just interrupted while
conversation, I don't
continuing.
care. Like, I don't care because you're
I
just
know
gonna
you
ramble
don't.
and you're just
I
gonna
know
keep
you
running
don't.
from me.
I know.
So
I
in this
know.
conversation, I just want
It's
to make it
okay.
very clear. In this specific conversation where I asked him
It's
very
okay.
deliberately and very clearly, Scooter, does P and not P represent propositions, or do they not represent propositions? And he took the negation. What he meant by that was that no, they do not represent propositions on a theoretical level. So, theoretically, they might not
No.
represent
So he's
propositions,
taken out
but
of the
that's not
and hold
actually
on.
what I was asking. I was asking, do
This is
they?
what
Not on a
Lucario does.
theoretical
He
level,
tries to
but on
sound
an
smart.
actual
No.
level. If you're
It
not
was
able
me
to
and
engage on that
Flurple.
because you
No,
know you
no,
got dunked on, you
no,
got shit on,
no.
you got shit on by rhetoric, you
I
got
don't
shit on by
care. I don't
substance,
care. But no, I
dodshit
didn't.
debater.
But
Never
no,
step up
you
to me
can't
again,
even
Scooter, okay?
propose. You can't even restate
Scooter,
like
I
an
want you to,
argument
Scooter,
that
I'm
getting
curious.
formed.
Because I dunked on you when I was 16, I dunked on you when I was 17, I
No, you
dunked on you
didn't.
when I was 18
No, you
twice.
didn't.
Multiple
You
times,
absolutely did
actually. More
not.
than
Yeah,
twice.
I don't
And
know
I'm
what
gonna
you mean
tell you,
by
when I'm
dunked on
19, I'm gonna
Lucario.
come back
No.
and I'm gonna dunk on your ass again.
No, you haven't dunked
So
on me at all.
just be
So,
ready for that
well,
day,
once
okay,
again,
Scooter?
I'm pretty sure the video that you have, even if it's on YouTube, I don't give a shit. But you're missing the context where me and Florple were in the middle of a debate about a whole separate topic, talking about theoretical possibilities, and then you hop in and then changed and deflected the topic, and then this is what you did, and it's probably not in the video because me and Flurple were debating. And anyone on YouTube, please show the video, show me where I could watch it, and you'll see that me and Flurple were not debating in the beginning of the video. And then Lucario comes in the video and changes it all, and then doesn't take in the context when he jumped in the middle of a debate. I guarantee 100% that's what happened here. So no, you're
100%. So
not
when
taking
I
the
jumped in the
context me and
video,
Flurple.
when I jumped
So
in the
I could
video,
tell you're not a
Flurple was
genuine
actually agreeing with
debater
me that I'm
because
just
I
clarifying the
guarantee.
terms that Flurple was
Hold on,
already
don't interrupt
using.
me.
And it took
Yeah, stop
multiple
interrupting
people,
me.
and it
Stop
took
interrupting
multiple
me.
people to explain
Stop
basic
interrupting me.
concepts in
No,
philosophy
no, no, no,
to
no.
full-grown
I
king.
caught you. You're
Apparently a master of
disingenuous.
logic,
You are
master of propositional
disingenuous.
logic. He didn't even know that propositions were represented by P and
No,
not P. He
that's
didn't
not
even know
true. So
this.
you're not
So I
going to
had to
interrupt me
explain
because
to
you
him.
got called out.
I had to
Yeah,
explain to him
you
very
got called
basic
out and
concepts.
you're
And when I asked
disingenuous.
him
Here's why.
very,
Here's
very
why.
directly,
Here's
does
why.
P
Here's
and
why.
not P
Here's
represent propositions? He says no. And when I ask him very directly, is it possible to
you're
have a
taking out of the
contradiction without
context of the
invoking
conversation
propositions? He
that
still
had an
says
hour and
no.
a half,
But
like
he
during that
fails to
conversation.
clarify that what he meant by no was that, theoretically, in a
He's just
possible world,
deflecting.
they
He
might not
can't
represent
actually engage in good
propositions, but
faith.
that's
What is
actually
this
not the
dude?
one that I'm
This
talking
dude's like a
about.
chat
I think
NBC
anybody
bot.
with any social cues would understand that I'm asking, what world
So
do you
yeah,
live
you can
in?
stop
And
trying
in
to
this
appeal
world,
emotionally to the
is P
chat and
not P
actually engage
representative
in a
of a
conversation.
proposition?
But here's why you're disingenuous. I'm gonna be upfront because in the video, I guarantee I will put some money down. You don't have the context of the hour and a half before you joined the live of me and Flurple debating the conversation and then you taking everything out of context and clipping it. That's why you're disingenuous. It would be equivocal to where if like, I don't know, Parker and Dean's in the middle of a debate and they're having, let's say Parker's doing a 1v1 with someone else that disagrees, and then they have an hour and a half dialogue, and then I come in,
Scooter, just
hold on, I'm
telling
explaining
people
to
that
you how
there's
you're
context
disingenuous,
doesn't
and
explain. It does
you're
not
getting
save
called
you
out,
from
so
the
that's
fact
why you're
that you
getting
had no
pressed, and you're trying
fucking
to talk
clue what
everything
you were
about it,
talking about,
because
and
you
you
can
started making
actually
modal
not debate
claims.
me. You
You
have to
got
take it out
schooled
of
on
context.
modal logic
You have to take it
by
out of
me. You
context
got
and then
schooled on
record from the
propositional
middle of the
logic by me.
conversation and not the
I'm going to
beginning.
keep schooling you on every field in
You're not
philosophy.
schooling me
I'm
on
going to
anything.
keep
You're
doing
just
it until
disingenuous.
hopefully one day you gain an
You're
IQ
just
point. Hopefully one
disingenuous.
day,
You're not schooling me on
one day,
anything.
Scooter, one day in the future, you're gonna make it to triple digit IQ, and then I'm gonna tell you about modal logic, okay?
Oh,
But
now
that's
he's
a
just going
long time from
IQ.
now.
So
That
this
is a
guy can
long
never
time
debate
from
me
now.
on substance. He's just a waste of my time. So I'm equating to you. It's like if Parker's debating someone one-on-one, and then in the middle of the debate, I hop in, start recording, and then completely not taking the context of what Parker was saying for that past hour and a half, which is what you did. You cannot
Look, Scooter,
actually debate me in a
this is
genuine
really
manner.
easy.
And
Scooter, there's 20
this is what
people
you
here.
do. You're just
Just
meta
give the
debating.
context. Give the context where you can change symbolic logic.
He's just
Okay?
meta debating.
Give
That's
the
it.
context. Why is he scared to
No,
give
the
the
context
context?
is you hopped in the middle of a debate. You
I hopped into
completely
the
changed
middle of
what
the
I
debate,
said,
and
and
therefore
then you
symbolic logic
recorded, thinking that
changes.
you
That's what
beat me
this
in a
guy is
debate
saying.
because you
This
actually
entire
didn't do
time,
so.
his only
And then
argument has
when we
just
have
been,
the opportunity
when
to debate
Lucario jumps in
again,
the
you
middle of the
can't
debate,
actually
all of a
debate me.
sudden
You're just
symbolic
meta
logic and
debating.
little operators change. That's all this guy is saying. You have no substance. You got schooled.
No, that's not what I said. You don't even know what I'm
someone
saying.
jumps in the middle of a
You
debate,
don't even
that
know
means
what I'm
that
saying.
symbolic logic changes because you jumped in. Like,
No,
that's dumb.
that's not
You're
what I
dumb.
said. And
Scooter,
once
you're
again,
dumb.
you can't even restate
Scooter,
what I
you're a
said.
dumbass.
You can't even restate what I say, because that's
Okay,
none of
so
that
go
is
ahead.
what I said.
Wait. Go ahead and make it clear. Make it clear to the 23 people in here. What is the context in which you change symbolic logic operators?
No. So, I didn't change any symbolic, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what that
Whatever.
means. That's not even within the
It's called
philosophy.
logic. It's no
One.
surprise that you forgot logic. I
No.
understand
So
you and logic have beef.
there's not
I
gonna
can tell.
be. Hold on. I like how you're trying to interrupt. Like it doesn't help you. So, anyways, no. So the conversation was just talking about theoretical possibilities. So theoretical possibilities just means I wasn't willing to make a claim that it's impossible. It's just holding a standard that I don't know if within the propositions that
Theoretically,
you
it's
made a P
possible
not
that P
P
and not P
on
are not
a you're
representative of
just acting like a
propositions.
child. Can we actually debate?
Theoretically, it's possible to invoke a contradiction without
What
contradicting
is this,
yourself.
dude?
Theoretically level. Theoretically,
Every time he asks me a question, he's going to interrupt and then take everything I say out of context and then interrupt and then
Do you
take
think I just
everything I
took
say
that
out
out
of
of
context
context?
and interrupt. This
Do
is
you think I
not
just took that
debating.
out of
Hold
context?
on, where did you learn how to fucking debate? Did you watch? I don't know. I think you gained your TikTok debating and you want to be so good at TikTok where you can't actually engage in a valid form of a debate. You literally ask me a question and then when I go to answer, you say don't overtalk me. I start to answer your question and then you interrupt me and then you take everything I say out of context and then interrupt me. You're not
Scooter, do you
actually
think
debating anything I'm
Scooter, do
saying.
you think shotgunning is a valid form of debate?
You're just not engaging with anything I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that you cannot debate me on anything when it comes to substance.
Scooter, do you think
Nothing.
shotgunning is a valid form
And
of
this
debate?
happens. This is the fifth time you've done this straight
Oh,
over a
okay, so he
2 year
can't answer my
period.
question.
No,
So
to where I
maybe I
hop
can
in a
explain to
debate
this
with you
guy
and you're just
what a
meta
shotgun is.
debating. You're
So
just meta debating.
basically, a shotgun is where you make multiple points at a time so that your opponent can't respond to him. Now, it's not typically the end goal, but it's oftentimes the end goal. So you make multiple points, you repeat your own points, you keep making more
No.
and more points, and you stack an entire monologue so that one person cannot respond. And so when you monologue like this,
Wait,
it's respected
what?
and it's also implied that, your opponent should cut in at some time.
And
But when you
now he's not
ramble, because
tracking. So
here,
let's see.
I'm gonna tell you why you tried a shotgun. I'm gonna tell you why you tried to
I'm gonna
ramble and use the
explain how I was
biggest
talking
words
about one
possible.
concept.
To the
This is
point
why
where
you're
earlier in this
incoherent.
conversation, you were talking about a contradiction, but then you said not P and the negation of P, which is literally just not P over and over. You just invoked not P